Hi, I'm Rick Wright, a career specialist with the Career Center, which is a free service of East Baton Rouge Parish Library. And in this video, we will show you how to apply for a job online with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let me begin by sharing my screen. This is the Career Center's website, which you will find at careercenterbr.com. And our website has a wealth of resources to help you with your job search, such as resume and cover letter samples and templates, and also job search websites. But when you're ready, click in the address bar of the web browser and type OReillyAuto.com and hit enter. All right, this is O'Reilly's website. Look for something that says careers or jobs. It is usually, not always, at the bottom of the website. First, let me take myself out of the picture. I don't see jobs or careers at the top of the website, so let's go all the way down to the bottom. Click on the gray bar, click and hold while you drag it down to the bottom and look for, there it is, careers, and click on that. The website wants to know, hey, can we know your location? In this case, it's a good idea to let it know, and I'll explain why in a moment. Allow. Scroll down a little bit. Let's imagine that, well, you have some choices. You're interested in a job at a store, with a company, or with distribution. For the purposes of this video, we're going to apply for a job at one of their local stores. So click on stores. All right, now, before you say, show me all the jobs that you have, first, with companies that are statewide or national, you begin by looking for job openings by location. So click on all states. See the arrow? That means it's a drop-down menu. Click. There's a list of choices. For the purposes of this video, we're interested in O'Reilly Auto Parts jobs in Louisiana. And let's provide a city, in this case, Baton Rouge. When you're ready, click on search. All right. Now, at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores in Baton Rouge, there's a huge number, 52 job openings. Although they're listed alphabetically, so the first job openings are assistant store manager. You can change how many jobs on each page, so click on rows per page. Let's say 25, show us 25 job openings per page. Scroll down, assistant store manager, bilingual, parts delivery, store counter sales. Parts delivery, you may be interested in that. Let's click on 2 for the next page. Retail counter sales. Now you might be interested in something else, but for the purposes of this video, let's show you how to apply by choosing one of their retail counter sales openings. But notice that it also says which store location. Let's imagine that you've talked to the store on Burbank Drive, and that's where you would like to work. So let's pick that one. There's a description of the job and the benefits. Very short, very simple, to the point. When you're ready, click on Apply Now. All right. This is where you have to be a little bit careful. If you have never applied for a job online with O'Reilly Auto Parts, the first thing you need to do is create an account or a profile. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you can click on that. If you can create a profile using Facebook. For the purposes of this video, let's create one from scratch. There we go. Scroll down a little bit. And we're going to create a profile for a fictional person who is Jane Q. Public. Make sure that you use your name, your email address, and so on. So fictional Jane Public, Jane, Notice the red stars. Anytime you see a red star, that means you have to answer, you have to provide information. If there's no star, you do not have to. Jane, public. And notice that we're going to use perfect spelling and perfect punctuation. You want to do that as much as possible. Jane Q. Public's email address is janeqpublic1976@gmail.com. That's fictional. Don't use that. Make sure you use your email address. They want you to type it twice. Password. Oh, here we go. Has to be between 6 and 32 characters. There's no other information at the moment. If there are password requirements, they will let you know if they don't like the password. It doesn't meet their requirements. But most of the time, 8 characters, uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a number, and a symbol. Whatever password you provide, that is your password, which you are creating for your account with their job application website. Make sure you write it down. Then you have to do it again, and that has to match. Zip code, where do you live? What's your zip code? Now, fictional Jane Q. Public lives in the area code 70707, which is apparently not Baton Rouge. It's Gonzales. I did not know that. Area of interest, where you make sure you add your zip code. Area of interest. You want to work at a store, distribution center, corporate, IT, or you want to be a route driver. For the purposes of this video, we are interested in working at a store. And you give O'Reilly Careers representative permission to contact you in the future. You probably want to check that box, otherwise they will not get in touch with you. Now click here to upload your resume. If you click on this, you can upload your resume if you have the computer file on the computer that you are using. The vast majority of the time, what happens is the website will read your resume, use the information in your resume, and fill out most of the application for you. It saves you a lot of typing and a lot of trouble. You can do that. It's a fine way to go. But for this video, we're going to add all our information manually. So when you're ready, click on continue. Do I want the web browser to remember the password I created? We're going to say not. Ooh, immediately it tells us that there are some errors, by which it means there are some boxes with a red star that I have not yet provided information. That's okay. We have a chance to provide that information. Jane Q. Public. Suffix, no, that does not apply to Jane. What is Jane Q. Public's address? Jane lives at 2010 Main Street, apartment 90. Make sure you add your address, which is apparently not in Baton Rouge, but it's in Gonzales. That's okay. Fictional Jane Public's fictional phone number. Make sure you add your phone number. But notice that they tell you what the format is supposed to be. Number, dash, number, dash, number. So 2555341. What kind of phone? Notice there's a red star, and it's also got an arrow, so it's a drop-down menu with a list of choices. Is it a landline, business number, mobile, or other? Don't ask me what other is. We're going to go with other. Actually, we're going to go with mobile. Do you have another phone number that they can reach you at? There's no red star, so it's not required, but you can add it. We're going to skip that. What is your email address? Well, we've already provided one. By the way, when you tell the job application website what your email address is, it is imperative that it's an email address that you are able to access it. If you cannot access it, it does you no good. If you cannot access it, we recommend you take the time to create a new email address to which you have access and you know the password. Would you like to receive emails about new positions and other information regarding O'Reilly Careers? You can check on that if you'd like to get more emails from them. We're going to say no. I don't want the fictional Jane Public's email account to get a bunch of emails. Would you like to receive texts about new positions and other information? If you check this, you will get text messages from them. That's fine. Just be ready for that. We're going to say no. All right, let's keep going through the questions. Red star, required. Do you have a valid driver's license? Yes. Have you ever worked for O'Reilly before? Jane has not, but if the answer is yes, they're going to ask you, really, where? And when did you last work there? In this case, no. Are you legally eligible to work in the United States? Are you an American citizen, or you are an immigrant and you have permission to work in this country? In this case, yes. 21 or older. Fictional Jane happens to be older than 21. After a conditional offer of employment is made, one or more consumer or investigative consumer reports will be obtained from a consumer reporting agency. And depending on the business unit or position for which you seek employment, there'll be a drug screen, a motor vehicle report, probably if you want to be a delivery driver, that will be required. Are you willing to submit to such a process? That is, they're going to do a consumer report, maybe also a drug screen and a motor vehicle report. You have to answer, we're going to say yes. Do you have anybody in your family who works at O'Reilly? In this case, no. But if you say yes, naturally they're going to say, really? Who? You have an immediate family member or member of your household who is currently employed with a competing auto parts supply. No. If you say yes, again, I guess they don't ask who and where they work. How did you learn about our career opportunity at the O? I didn't know that was the shorthand for O'Reilly Auto Parts. There's an arrow, so it's a drop-down menu. Let's see what our choices are. Oh my goodness, it's a long list. What is frustrating about this question is usually it is hard to find the correct answer. In this case, we found out through their website. So where is O for O'Reilly's website? Nope, it's not there. How about website? Nope. The thing that I think is the closest to the company's website might be careers website. We're going to choose that, but you choose the one that is the closest. When you're ready, click on next. If you click on save, that means later you can come back to the website, log in using your email address and the password you created, and continue the application from where you left off. But in this case, we're going to do it all in one fell swoop. When you're ready, click on next. Pay expected. How much do you expect to be paid? There's a red star, so unfortunately you do have to answer. This is where you might want to do some research ahead of time to find out, what do people at O'Reilly make for their starting wage? Let's say I'd like at least $12 an hour. You have to choose hourly or salary, or else you get an error message later. Hourly. You want to be full-time or part-time? You can only choose one. I'd like to be full-time. When can you begin your career at O'Reilly? Red star, so it's required. And notice the format has to be number, slash, number, slash, number. Or there's also a pop-up calendar where you can simply click on the date. You can say, today I can start immediately. Let's say I can start in the beginning of September. Click on this little right arrow. I can start Wednesday, September 1st, 2020. What are your desired work days? Red star. Work shifts, red star. So you have to tell them what days would you like to work? Which shifts would you like to work? If you say I can work anytime, then you have to let them know evenings, weekends, I can work overtime, I can work on national holidays. For now, let's leave all of these checked. Hey, you're flexible. But let's say that there's certain days and certain shifts you would like to work. So click on this. I'll specify. Scroll down a little bit. You now get a list of Monday through Sunday. And I'd like to specify which shifts. That actually doesn't make a difference, which is interesting. Let's say that I'm willing to work Monday through Saturday, but not Sunday. And I'm willing to work early morning through evenings, but not overnight. So let's just check all of these. When you're Ready? Click on Next. Level of education completed, red star, so it's required. And there's a down arrow. Let's see what our choices are. Ranging from having completed high school to, wow, postdoctorate. Let's imagine that Jane Public does have a bachelor's degree. From where? Then they ask you where. Jane is a graduate of country. There's a drop-down menu. And USA is conveniently at the top, otherwise you'd have to scroll all the way down. So let's say it's in the United States. Click in the box for city. It's in Baton Rouge. Perfect spelling and perfect punctuation. State, drop-down menu. Let's scroll down to LA for Louisiana. Area of studies. Jane majored in general studies. What certification or degree you received, there's no red star, it's not required. In a way, we've already told them. How many years did you complete? Let's say that you went to Louisiana State or you went to college for 2 years. You can say 2 out of 4. In this case, at least 4. Additional education, you can click on that if you wish to provide another degree, another certificate, perhaps your high school diploma. We're going to leave this for now. When you're ready, click on Next. Are you currently employed? One of the things that the Career Center does is we help people who are looking for work. Most of them, not all, but most are not currently employed. You can say, no, I'm not currently employed, or yes. But then they'd like to know about your employment history for the past 7 years. Notice the number, 7. So this is where we're going to provide some work history. Now this is fictional Jane's work history. You provide your work history. Jane's last job, or current job, since we said we're currently employed, is at a place called High Tech, where she was a machinist, or is a machinist. It's in Baton Rouge. In Louisiana, this time there's no abbreviations. That's interesting. What's the phone number? There's no red star. You know, I don't know the name. I don't know the phone number for High Tech. We're going to leave that blank. Is it okay if they contact them and say, hey, tell us about Jane Public as a worker? Yeah, sure. Supervisor names, not required, but you can provide it. Title. Reasons for leaving. Now, there is a red star, but we said that we're currently employed, so we can leave that as, for example, NA, not applicable. By the way, if you're working at the place, you might want to click on no, I'd rather you not contact my current employer, because then they're going to know that you are planning to leave. Responsibilities, red star, this is required. What do you do or what did you do? Jane worked manual machine. And operated a drill press. Start date, when did you start? And notice they provide the format, number, slash, number, month, year. So you can click on the pop-up menu or simply put in the month and the year. Jane started in December 2017. Now we have to go back 7 years, and this is not enough. So click on it, add additional work history. So we're going to provide a second job. Jane also worked at ABC Signs. Now, reason for leaving. Again, there's a red star, so we have to provide an answer. And when you provide the reason why you left a particular job, it's very important that you do not put any negative reasons, only reasons that are neutral or best of all positive. So you don't want to say, I had to work hard and I hate work, or I could not stand my boss. Perhaps new opportunity, needed more hours. In this case, we're going to say, I was looking for a new opportunity. That's a nice neutral reason. What did Jane do? Start date. Now, this is the point at which we need to make sure that we are going back at least 7 years. If not, we have to provide another job as part of our work history. In this case, Jane started in November 2013. And now we provide an end date, finished in November 2017. Languages, are you multilingual? Jane is not. But if you are, if you can speak other languages fluently, that is a powerful strength. You may have noticed that in the list of job openings, there are many jobs that are listed as bilingual counter customer service, bilingual parts delivery. Then they will ask you, which language? And it covers almost everything from African languages, there's a lot of those, American Sign Language to Yiddish. Wow. In this case, and you can also specify how fluently, a few words, automotive words and phrases, all the way to I can speak, read, and write that language fluently. For the purposes of this video, we're going to say, okay, let's say that Jane does know some Spanish, though they ask you which dialect, Mexico, Puerto Rico, or Spain, Castellano, knows Central South American Spanish, and how fluent, totally fluent, just a few words. I'd say I know enough automotive words and phrases to service most customers. Okay. If that's what you provide, however, that needs to be true and accurate. And then when you run into customers that speak that language, you can actually converse with them. Certifications. Do you have any other certifications? In this case, no. Then they want to know like which and when did you earn it? Wow. In this case, Jane does not have any, so we click on remove. How many years of prior auto parts experience do you have? Red star, it's required. What are our choices? None to at least 6 years. Let's say that Jane has no experience. But if you have some experience in auto parts, you choose how many years of experience you have. And what's your level of expertise regarding automotive parts? Okay, I have no experience selling auto parts, but I like cars and never worked on them, all the way to I'm an expert, I tear down engines for fun. Let's say Jane has done basic repairs and maintenance such as oil changes, radiator flush, belts, and hoses, which is actually true for me. We'll say that Jane can do that. Prior experience. Do you have prior experience with auto parts? No, didn't we already say we have none? None. Years of experience? None. Please list any skills or special training that you have. Let's say that Jane has experience with typing. We're going to use their examples, which are convenient. Computer skills, computer software. Jane is not a forklift operator, but Jane does have experience with building and maintaining websites. What are the other skills that you have that you can bring to a job with O'Reilly Auto Parts? When you're ready, click on Next. Have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor or a felony? And they tell you up front, it doesn't mean you're disqualified, that they will not hire you, but they need to know. There's a red star, so you have to answer. In this case, no. But what if we say yes? Then naturally they ask, well, was it a misdemeanor? Was it a felony? When? And so on. In this case, no. When you're ready, click on Next. Digital signature. By signing this application for employment, I certify that I've read and understand all of it, and I've truthfully and completely answered all questions. Basically, all the information you have provided is true and accurate. That includes information about your driving record. Password, that's the password that we created and wrote down at the very beginning when we created the profile. You have that written down, and now you add it. And these two need to match or else this will not work. When you click on agree and sign form, because you can't sign a website, the password counts as a kind of digital signature. No, I do not want the web browser to remember my password. All right, we're running out of time. Basically, this is a work opportunity tax credit. If they hire people who have fulfilled certain categories, they get some sort of a tax credit. So they ask you a little bit of information. All right. First name, Jane. Public, what's your street address, zip code. They have red stars, they're required. We've already provided this information. Social Security number. I'm going to enter a fictional Social Security number. Make sure you provide your Social Security number. We're going to skip through this part of the video. Are you under age 40? There's a red star. Now, I am a fictional Jane. Excuse me, I am not. Fictional Jane is under 40. Then they ask, well, what's your birth date? Fictional Jane was born on July 4th. Whoops, can't put in the slashes, they provide them. July 4th, 1976. Have you worked for O'Reilly Automotive before? Didn't we already answer that? But they ask again, no. Please select your answers to the following questions. This part is a little confusing. We're going to get a new tab is going to open. We answer those questions, and when we're done, we'll return to this tab, back to the application. Make selections. Have you served in the United States military? Jane has not, but you answer what is true for you. Maybe the answer is yes. Have you or a household member received food stamps in the past 6 months? No. Did you ever stop receiving welfare, child care, housing, or transportation assistance in the past 2 years? Excuse me, received or stopped receiving? No. Did you or a household member receive assistance at least 9 months in the last 18 months? In this case, no. For you, the answer may be yes, or I'm not sure. Did you receive assistance for at least the past 18 months? In this case, no. Did you or a member of your household receive assistance for at least 18 months between 1997 and 2019? In this case, no. And did you stop receiving assistance in the last 2 years because you exceeded the time limitation? For Jane, the answer is no. For you, it may be yes or not sure. Have you received Social Security income benefits in the last 90 days? For Jane, no. Have you received vocational rehabilitation services? No. Have you been unemployed for at least 27 weeks in a row, during which you received some unemployment compensation? For Jane, the answer is no, but we have been working with a lot of people over the past year for whom the answer is actually yes. Were you convicted of a felony or released from prison for a felony in the past year? In this case, no. We sometimes work with people who have been released from prison. Have you received a conditional certification from the state workforce agency or a participating local agency for the work opportunity credit? I don't know what that is. I'm going to say no. If you have no idea what that is, probably the answer is no. But for some people, the answer may be yes. When you're ready, click on continue. All right. This is where the website says, hey, you have provided all the following answers. For all of the questions we answered no, but you have a chance to say, you know, I made a mistake. Click on this little edit button and go back and fix one of those answers. Now, let's go back to the original application. This part's a little confusing. This tab changed when we were on this tab and filled out this information. And when we went back, it now says, thank you for your interest in a career at O'Reilly Auto Parts. The success of an O'Reilly Auto Parts is built and sustained by our culture values. Basically, your application has been received. Good. It's nice to know when the website tells you you have officially finished and submitted the application. And a company representative will contact you if your qualifications match the position or positions you've applied for. Well, that concludes this video. Thank you very much for your interest and thank you for watching. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please hit that like button. You can also click on the red subscribe button if you would like to see more videos on our YouTube channel to help you with your career or your job search. Thank you very much.